That's our biggest gold weigh this far.
So where did that put us, Minnie?
The season total for this year is 4,620.9 ounces.
Fans of the hit Discovery Channel series Gold Rush were left stunned when Tony Beets, famously known as the Viking, made a bold and unexpected revelation. The legendary gold miner, known for his fierce attitude, sharp tongue, and unmatched work ethic, opened up about the 5 miners he would never work with again. For years, Tony has been a central figure in the world of gold mining, respected and feared in equal measure. His tough leadership style has earned him massive success, and plenty of enemies along the way. When the news broke that Tony had finally spoken about the people he refuses to work with, it sent shockwaves through the Gold Rush community. Fans couldn't stop wondering who these miners were and what had caused such deep rifts. Tony's decision to speak out wasn't just about drama. It was a window into the high stakes, pressure-filled world of gold mining, where money, pride, and survival often clash in explosive ways. Before diving into the conflicts, it's important to understand who Tony Beets really is. Born in the Netherlands, Tony moved to Canada as a young man, chasing a better life. What began as a simple search for work eventually turned into a gold mining empire. Over the years, Tony worked his way up from a small-time miner to one of the most successful figures in the Klondike region. His signature cowboy hat, thick accent, and no-nonsense attitude made him one of Gold Rush's most unforgettable personalities. But behind that tough exterior lies a man who built everything from scratch, through years of struggle, hardship, and sheer determination. He didn't inherit wealth. He earned every ounce of gold he ever mined. However, success in the mining world often brings competition, jealousy, and heated rivalries. And Tony Beets, being the strong-willed leader he is, has never shied away from conflict when it comes to protecting his name or his business. The Gold Rush series has always shown viewers that gold mining isn't just about digging dirt. It's about surviving, in an industry where a single mistake can cost millions. The show's intense atmosphere, dangerous conditions, and massive financial stakes push miners to their limits. Tony Beets runs his operations like a military commander, demanding, direct, and brutally honest. Some workers thrive under that pressure. Others break. Over time, Tony's perfectionism and tough leadership have caused several feuds on and off the screen. From disagreements about pay and loyalty to clashes over land and equipment, the list of issues runs long. But unlike many reality TV stars, Tony rarely hides his feelings. When he dislikes someone, everyone knows it. That's what makes his latest revelation so shocking. Because Tony doesn't talk about people unless the situation really left a mark on him. One of the most defining moments in Tony Beets' career came during a controversial incident involving an environmental law violation. During one season of Gold Rush, Tony and his crew performed a Viking baptism, where they set fire to a dredge pond as part of a team celebration. Unfortunately, this act led to serious trouble. Authorities charged Tony and his company for allowing fuel to spill into the water, claiming it violated the Yukon Waters Act. The court later fined Tony heavily, making it one of the most publicized moments of his career. For some of his crew members, that incident was a breaking point. Some stood by him, while others distanced themselves from the controversy. Tony's refusal to back down only strengthened his reputation as a stubborn Tony Beets has worked with dozens of miners over the years, but not all partnerships ended well. According to insiders and longtime fans, his relationships with a few well-known miners turned sour due to differences in values, leadership, and business ethics. The first major clash was reportedly with Parker Schnabel, one of the youngest and most successful miners on the show. Although Parker admired Tony in the early days, tensions grew when Parker began competing for land and resources. Tony's blunt style didn't mix well with Parker's independent mindset, and soon their friendship turned into rivalry. Then there's Todd Hoffman, another big name from Gold Rush. Tony once hinted that Todd's approach to mining was too showy and not grounded in real work. Other miners, like Rick Ness and Dave Turin, have also had their share of disagreements with Tony. Though he never directly names them, fans have pieced together clues from his interviews and behavior on the show. Tony values loyalty, discipline, and hard work. And anyone who doesn't meet those standards doesn't stay in his circle for long. While Tony is known for his tough management style, his family remains at the heart of his empire. His wife Minnie, his daughter Monica, and his sons Kevin and Mike all play important roles in running the Beets operation. But even within the family, challenges have surfaced. Kevin Beets, once seen as Tony's natural successor, stepped away from Gold Rush, leaving fans shocked. While he didn't reveal all the details, many believe Kevin needed a break from the constant stress and pressure of working under his father. It wasn't a dramatic fallout, but it reflected the demanding environment Tony creates around him. Despite their differences, Tony's family remains united in their love for mining and each other. The Beets family has faced injuries, legal issues, and harsh winters, yet they keep pushing forward. Their story shows that success doesn't come without sacrifice. For Tony, family and business are deeply connected, but even that loyalty has limits when it comes to outsiders. Now, we come to the heart of the revelation. In a rare candid interview, Tony Beets hinted that there are 5 miners he'll never work with again. While he didn't list every name directly, fans quickly speculated that the list might include Parker Schnabel, Todd Hoffman, Rick Ness, Dave Turin, and Jim Thurber. Each of these men has crossed paths with Tony in some way, and each story ended in conflict or disappointment. Tony explained that his reasons were simple. He values loyalty above all else. "If a man can't stand by his word, I have no business with him," Tony said. Those words summarize his philosophy perfectly. In an industry where trust is everything, once it's broken, there's no going back. He also admitted that while he respects their skills, he can't work with people who question his leadership or go against his principles. It's not about hatred or revenge. It's about maintaining integrity in a business where one bad partnership can ruin everything. Tony Beets' story is about much more than fame or fortune. It's about the price of ambition and the challenges of leadership. Over the years, he's built one of the biggest operations in the Yukon, employing dozens of people and moving thousands of ounces of gold. But that success didn't come easy. Tony faced frozen machinery, failed investments, and countless disagreements. What sets him apart is his ability to keep going, no matter how bad things get. His refusal to quit, even when the odds are stacked against him, is what made him a legend. Still, his honesty and temper have cost him valuable relationships. Tony often says that he'd rather work alone than compromise his principles, a statement that reflects both strength and loneliness. His journey reminds us that true success comes with sacrifices, and not everyone is meant to walk that path with you. As Gold Rush continues to evolve, fans often wonder what's next for Tony Beets. Despite the drama and the challenges, he remains one of the most consistent and entertaining miners on the show. His massive dredges, his booming voice, and his old-school approach to mining keep audiences hooked year after year. Recently, Tony hinted that he's focusing more on legacy, teaching his children everything he's learned over decades. He's less interested in competing with other miners and more focused on securing the Beets family's place in gold mining history. Viewers admire his resilience, even when he faces setbacks. Whether he continues working with Discovery or not, one thing is clear. Tony Beets has built a brand bigger than the show itself. He's a symbol of hard work, perseverance, and the courage to say what others won't. Tony Beets may be controversial, but that's what makes him unforgettable. His straightforward personality, fiery temper, and fierce loyalty to his team have defined Gold Rush for more than a decade. When he revealed the 5 miners he'll never work with again, it wasn't just gossip. It was a reflection of how seriously he takes trust and respect. In an industry built on teamwork, Tony has learned that not everyone is cut from the same cloth. Some people chase fame, others chase fortune, but Tony Beets chases results. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that his story continues to inspire millions around the world. His message is clear: success demands sacrifice, and loyalty can't be bought. As long as there's gold in the Yukon, the legend of Tony Beets, the Viking of Gold Rush, will continue to shine. Before Tony Beets became the king of the Klondike, he lived a completely different life. Born in the small Dutch village of Weidenes, Tony grew up on a dairy farm. Life was tough, and money was always tight. He spent long days helping his family with chores, milking cows, and working in the fields. Even as a teenager, Tony dreamed of something bigger. He wanted freedom, not just from the farm, but from the idea that his destiny was already written for him. When he turned 23, he decided to take a leap of faith and move to Canada. It wasn't easy. He arrived with almost no money and had to work as a farmhand, then as a mechanic, before finally finding his way into gold mining. He often says that his real gold wasn't found in the ground. It was found in the lessons he learned through hard work. That immigrant story, built on sweat and persistence, is a huge part of why fans admire him today. Tony's life proves that no dream is too big if you're willing to fight for it. Tony Beets didn't become a tough leader overnight. His rough style came from years of dealing with disappointment, betrayal, and survival in one of the harshest industries in the world. In gold mining, mistakes can cost thousands of dollars, and a single bad season can destroy a company. That's why Tony runs his operation with an iron fist. He expects everyone to work as hard as he does, and he doesn't tolerate laziness or excuses. Some people see him as too harsh, but others say his toughness is what makes him successful. His team knows that when Tony yells, it's not about ego, it's about results. Deep down, he cares about his workers, even if he rarely shows it in words. He's the kind of leader who believes respect is earned, not given. That old school mentality can be hard for younger miners to accept, which has led to several clashes on the show. But Tony isn't interested in being liked. He's interested in getting the job done. One of the most talked about rivalries in Gold Rush history is between Tony Beets and Parker Schnabel. Their relationship started off as mutual respect. Tony even leased land to Parker when he was just starting out. But as Parker's fame and success grew, the dynamic shifted. Tony began to see Parker not just as a student, but as competition. Their working relationship quickly turned into a battle of pride. Tony often criticized Parker for being impatient and overconfident, while Parker accused Tony of being controlling and old-fashioned. Viewers watched as their friendship slowly crumbled. It wasn't about money, it was about respect. Both men are natural-born leaders who hate being told what to do. In one interview, Tony admitted that while he respects Parker's achievements, he would never work with him again because too many captains sink the ship. It was a statement that summed up their entire story. Two strong men who could never share the same wheel. Then there's Todd Hoffman, one of the original stars of Gold Rush, and another name often linked to Tony Beets' Never Again list. While both men share a love for gold, they couldn't be more different. Todd's optimistic and faith-driven personality often clashed with Tony's realistic and direct approach. Tony once described Todd as a dreamer who talks too much and digs too little. Though the comment was harsh, it reflected Tony's frustration with people who rely more on hope than hard work. Todd, on the other hand, viewed Tony as too negative and unwilling to take chances. Their feud wasn't loud or public, but it was clear that mutual respect was lost over time. When asked if he'd ever work with Todd again, Tony laughed and said, "Not unless hell freezes over." Fans weren't surprised. After all, in the world of gold mining, personal chemistry matters just as much as skill. Rick Ness was another miner who once worked alongside Tony Beets and earned his respect. Rick was known for his loyalty, hard work, and steady attitude. For a while, he seemed like someone Tony could trust completely. But as time passed, their working styles started to clash. Tony demands near perfection, and Rick, while capable, preferred a more relaxed approach. Tension built quietly until it finally reached a point where they decided to part ways. Though they never had a dramatic on-screen fight, Tony hinted that he doesn't like working with people who get comfortable. Rick later launched his own mining operation, proving he had learned from Tony, but also showing he wanted to step out of his shadow. The breakup was more professional than personal, but Tony's pride was still visible. For him, loyalty isn't just about staying, it's about staying disciplined. Once that breaks, there's no turning back. Dave Turin, known as Dozer Dave, is another miner whose path crossed with Tony Beets. Unlike the others, their conflict wasn't about ego or leadership, it was about business ethics. Dave is known for his calm, faith-driven approach to work, while Tony runs things more aggressively. Their short-lived collaboration ended when Tony felt Dave questioned his decisions in front of others. For Tony, that was a deal-breaker. Public disagreement is something he doesn't forgive easily. He believes challenges should be handled privately, not in front of the crew. Even though Tony later said he respects Dave as a worker, he also admitted they could never be on the same team again. The story shows a deeper side of Tony, his stubborn sense of pride. To him, leadership isn't a debate, it's a command. That mindset makes him both respected and feared, a man who stands firm no matter the cost. Despite all the conflicts and controversies, Tony Beets remains one of the most successful miners in the world. His massive dredges, innovative mining methods, and fearless attitude have made him millions. But if you ask Tony what his real secret is, he'll tell you it's hard work and family. Every member of the Beets family contributes to the operation, from managing finances to running heavy machinery. Unlike many others in the mining world, Tony doesn't separate his personal life from his business. They are one and the same. That's what gives his operation strength and stability. He also believes in reinvesting his profits back into the company instead of chasing luxury. While others buy fancy cars, Tony buys new equipment. His focus isn't on fame or television, it's on securing a future for his children and grandchildren. That mindset sets him apart from other reality stars who let fame get to their heads. For many viewers, Tony Beets comes across as rude, loud, and overly strict. But those who know him personally often describe a very different man. Beneath his rough exterior, Tony has a big heart and a deep sense of responsibility toward his crew. He provides jobs, takes care of his workers, and never asks them to do something he wouldn't do himself. He's also surprisingly humble about his fame, often saying that Gold Rush was just a platform, not his purpose. His real purpose, he says, is to build something that lasts. Tony has also shared that he doesn't watch his own episodes because he doesn't care how he's portrayed. He only cares if the gold count is accurate. That level of confidence and focus shows why he's lasted this long in an industry that breaks most people. Tony Beets doesn't seek approval, he seeks results. In one of his rare emotional interviews, Tony Beets explained that respect is more valuable to him than friendship. Now, friends come and go, he said, but respect stays forever. That one line sums up his entire philosophy. Tony doesn't expect everyone to like him. In fact, he knows many don't. But he does expect honesty, loyalty, and effort. Those who can give him that stay in his circle for life. Those who can't are gone instantly. It's a system that has worked for him for decades, even if it makes him look heartless at times. He believes that the mining business isn't built on emotions. It's built on trust and grit. And once someone breaks that trust, there's no fixing it. This approach has helped Tony avoid bigger disasters, but it has also made him a lonelier figure in the industry. He's a man surrounded by people, yet walking a path only few can follow. As Tony Beets continues to mine gold and build his legacy, fans can't help but wonder what the future holds for him. Will he eventually retire? Will one of his children take over the empire? For now, Tony shows no sign of slowing down. He still wakes up early, runs his equipment, and oversees every operation personally. He believes that as long as his hands can grip the steering wheel, he'll keep mining. His story is more than entertainment. It's a lesson in resilience.